Winfrey kissing the disgraced mogul, it reads, when you have been part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you are the solution.
The biggest star in Hollywood working with the biggest star on television. But Jolie allegedly wanted no part of it, and the rejection felt like a sting to Oprah.
I would grab my purse and probably move to another seat.
Despite Oprah's efforts to rectify these concerns, it appeared that the flaws were deeply rooted throughout the Academy's basic foundation.
Oprah Winfrey's journey from a poor childhood in Mississippi to becoming a billionaire media mogul is one of the most iconic success stories in modern history. Known for her relatable personality, empathetic interviewing style, and groundbreaking career, she has captivated audiences worldwide. But is her legacy all that it seems to be, or is there something darker lurking in the corner?
I didn't think Lance owed anybody, he didn't do anything to me. You know what he did for me? He raised $500 million for cancer research. That's what that lie did. Yeah, it was great. And everybody had the bands on. Remember the bands?
Sure.
Right? That blocked out the sun, right?
You know, it wasn't to block out the sun.
No wrist cancer?
Yeah.
Now, the whole thing was annoying, and I hated how Oprah was interviewing him and acting like she was dumbfounded that this guy would do this. Like, she's been in show business for 35 years, and she can't, like, wrap her head around some guy doing whatever it takes to get to the next level. Didn't she, for the first 5 years, have, like, midgets who wanted to bang their mailman's boyfriend? And she didn't want to do it. She didn't want to do it, but she didn't have the power to say no, so she wrote it out. And then when she could make a good decision, she did a show. But she stood on the heads of those little people for 5 years until she got... And then she's sitting there across from this guy like, so how could you... You know exactly what he's doing. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Look, the guy was a sociopath on a bicycle, all right? As far as I'm concerned, we got off easy.
Yeah.
If that guy was working for a corporation, he probably would have been pouring stuff in the water supply, doing God knows what. Just keep him on the bike. Just let him go up and down the hill. He's not hurting anybody.
Not hurting anybody.
He isn't. And the top 20 guys, like, all tested positive for roids. So our roided up guy beat your roided up guy. Okay? And those guys who run that filthy sport, who is sitting there going like, this is ridiculous. He doesn't represent cycling. Are they going to return all the money that they made off of that guy? Huh? They're going to turn in their yachts? They're not going to. They're not going to do it.
Everyone turn in your yachts.
One of Oprah's more public relationships in the self-help world is with Iyanla Vanzant, a spiritual coach and author. Vanzant frequently appeared on The Oprah Winfrey Show in the late 1990s, becoming known for her wisdom on personal growth, relationships, and spirituality. Oprah, recognizing Vanzant's influence, offered her a show on the Oprah Winfrey Network, OWN, in 1999, but Vanzant declined, feeling the timing wasn't right. Vanzant instead pursued another show, which led to misunderstandings, professional distance, and a feeling of betrayal. It took more than a decade for the two to reconcile.
In a recent interview, Iyanla Vanzant made a provocative statement, claiming that Oprah Winfrey is worse than Diddy in certain aspects of her professional interactions. Vanzant, a well-known life coach and author, previously worked with Oprah on the popular show Iyanla, Fix My Life, which aired on the Oprah Winfrey Network, OWN. Vanzant's comment has sparked curiosity and controversy, as both Oprah and Sean Diddy Combs are influential figures in the entertainment industry. While she did not provide specific details in this particular soundbite, her statement suggests that there were challenging aspects of her professional relationship with Oprah. These challenges could relate to the high expectations, rigorous demands, or the intense pressure of working under Oprah's brand. Despite this bold claim, Vanzant has also spoken highly of Oprah in the past, acknowledging the opportunities and platform Oprah provided her through their collaboration. It's important to note that such statements can often be part of a larger context, potentially involving both praise and criticism of the professional dynamics experienced. Vanzant's comparison to Diddy, a successful music producer and entrepreneur known for his demanding and intense style, highlights the high-stakes environment of working with top-tier industry leaders. Both Oprah and Diddy have reputations for being driven and exacting, which can create both opportunities and challenges for those who work with them. This statement by Vanzant is likely to generate discussions and varied reactions from fans and industry insiders. It underscores the complexities and pressures of the entertainment industry, especially when working with iconic figures who have a significant impact on their collaborators' careers. As the conversation unfolds, it may provide more insights into the nature of Vanzant's experiences and the broader dynamics of high-profile professional relationships.
In 2011, Vanzant and Oprah reconnected on Super Soul Sunday, where they discussed their falling out and repaired their bond, leading to a renewed partnership. Vanzant went on to launch Iyanla, Fix My Life, on OWN, where she counseled individuals through personal hardships. Their reunion, celebrated by fans, was seen as a testament to forgiveness and growth. Despite their reconciliation, this chapter in Oprah's life revealed both the intensity and fragility of the relationships she forms and occasionally fractures within her pursuit of influence and success. Despite her accomplishments, Oprah's career is not without controversy, particularly in her relationships with Black women in the industry. One high-profile dispute involves actress and comedian Monique, who starred in the Oprah-produced film Precious.
My brother Gerald is a charmer. So my mind thought was, because she said, do you want to come on? I said, I don't want nothing to do with that cat. I said, nigga, I know it's up to a scam, but people can change. And who am I to say he hasn't changed? It might really be different. So I don't want to get in the way of that. I just don't want nothing to do with it. She said, if you don't want me to have your brother on the show, I will cancel the show. No show will happen. But I wanted to call you up to see how you felt first. When I hung up that phone, brother, I looked at my husband and I said, that bitch is all right with me. That's a real...
She kept it
because she didn't have to call me up. She didn't have to say my brother was coming. She could have just ran with shit and let it happen. I dig her for that. Now I begin to see commercials with my brother, my mother, my father, and my other brother. Now the reason why that means so much is because in the conversation we had about my brother, we then went deeper. And we began to talk about our relationships with our mothers and our fathers. And I shared my relationship with her about my mother, as she shared hers with me, which I will never repeat because she shared it with me about her mother and father. It might be something she shared with everybody, but wanted to make me feel special. I don't know. Nonetheless, it was in our moment. I shared with her that me and my mother was not talking. I shared with her we were in a really bad place. I shared with her I was hurt and, trying to figure this thing out. She never said my mother was coming on that show, because had Oprah Winfrey said, I'm gonna have your mother, I would have said, shut it down. I don't need the world seeing how greedy my mother is. Shut that down. That's one of the reasons why we don't communicate, because of my mother and father's greed. So if you had given me the opportunity, I would have said, I can't put that's still my mother.
Oprah's selective approach to sensitive topics has furthered discussions on her authenticity. In 1993, she conducted a historic interview with Michael Jackson, offering the pop icon a platform to address rumors and allegations against him. Years later, in 2019, Oprah hosted a documentary special about Leaving Neverland, featuring new abuse allegations against Jackson. This angered a lot of fans, as they saw it as an attempt to destroy his reputation.
In 1993, Oprah interviewed Michael Jackson at his Neverland Ranch in what became the most watched interview in television history. Michael gave Oprah a chance because she was a Black woman making a name for herself, and they were actually friends. She was close to the Jackson family and were often photographed together. This was the first time that Michael had given a televised interview since 1979. She asked him a lot of intrusive questions, like if he was a virgin, and about his essay claims and why he likes to be around children, including his vitiligo.
are not taking anything to change the color of your skin.
Oh God, no.
You did not purposely.
We're trying to control it, and using makeup evens it out because it makes blotches on the skin, and I have to even out my skin. But you know what's funny? Why is that so important? You know, that's not important to me. I'm a great fan of art. I love Michelangelo. If I had a chance to talk to him or read about him, I would want to know about what inspired him to become who he is, the anatomy of his craftsmanship, not about who he went out with last night or why he decided to sit out in the sun so long. What's wrong with, I mean, that's what's important to me.
How much plastic surgery have you had?
But to be fair, Oprah is a journalist, so she did ask the questions that people wanted to hear. It's the fact that the interview was uncensored and unscripted. Michael trusted her enough for that, just to pull a move that is considered backstabbing to his family. Oprah has stood by two men accusing Michael Jackson of SA in an interview special that aired immediately after the Leaving Neverland documentary. Oprah received a ton of backlash for this, where she openly said, "I know people all over the world are gonna be in an uproar and debating whether or not Michael Jackson did these things or not. Did he do it or not do it? Whether these two men are lying or not lying."
In contrast, while Oprah publicly addressed allegations against her friend Harvey Weinstein, a powerful Hollywood figure later convicted of multiple crimes against women, people are finding it very hard to believe that she didn't know what was going on, considering she was friends with Harvey for a long time and has worked closely with him.
Let's talk about what's happening with Harvey Weinstein. I know you posted on Facebook already, but you haven't kind of spoken yet publicly about what's going on.
I think that this is, I'm always trying to look for the rainbow in the cloud, whatever is the silver lining. And this is what I do know for sure. When something this major happens, when you have the fallout, 50 women coming forward, that it's a watershed moment. And what I do believe is actually happening is that, first of all, it's triggering a lot of unreleased pain, repressed anger, guilt, and suffering that a lot of women have had. I happened to be on set with several actresses the other day, and we were filming some things, and they were like, hadn't slept over a period of 2 or 3 days, and I was like, what is that? I said, oh, you guys are suffering from PTSD.
And when you start talking about it out loud too,
everybody has a story. Everybody has a story, and so I think this is a watershed moment. And if we make this just about Harvey Weinstein, then we will have lost this moment. I think this is a moment where no matter what business you work in, there have been women who not only had the disease to please, that's a part of it, but who felt that in order to keep my job, in order to keep my position, in order to keep moving forward, I've got to smile, I've got to look the other way, I got to pretend he didn't say that, I got to pretend he didn't touch me. I think those days are about to be over.
Are over. And if it happens to you back in the day, you would say, sometimes you're not even aware what he just said wasn't really inappropriate.
I know you've had a couple moments.
Where you just think, what did he just say?
Yes, I remember Gail had a moment when she came and said to me what somebody said to her was so inappropriate. I was like, oh my God, you can sue over that. But
no, and all I said was, what did you say? And then they repeated it.
Yes.
It's terrible. I just sat there typing with my 20-something-year-old.
You pretend you didn't hear it.
Yes.
You pretend it's okay. You pretend you didn't.
No, it isn't. You're right, Jeff. It absolutely. You're absolutely right.
But a lot of women have been silenced, and I know.
But I do think it's going to change.
Being a victim of child sexual abuse, that when you feel like you cannot be heard, and then other people start speaking out, it makes you feel like, oh, now I can speak out too.
Yeah.
So,
and you've been speaking about it for
years.
Yeah.
Another controversy that tainted Oprah's reputation involves the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa, a boarding school she founded in 2007 to provide education for underprivileged girls. Within a year of its opening, the school faced multiple scandals, including allegations of abuse by staff members. Although Oprah flew to South Africa to personally address the issue and comfort the girls, the incidents drew criticism over her ability to maintain a safe environment for her students.
Oprah started an expensive school in one of the poorest countries. But behind that school, innocent young girls were being groomed for a life of exploitation. But no actual evidence was ever discovered to back up these shocking claims. It is, however, impossible to deny that the whispers added a layer of intrigue and suspicion to the already contentious academy. But scandals and controversies soon followed, exposing a dark and seedy underbelly that Oprah had worked so hard to keep hidden. One shocking incident involved an employee named Virginia, whose role included overseeing the dormitories. It was discovered that she had engaged in highly inappropriate behavior. Imagine the shock and horror that surged over the country when this shocking revelation was revealed. These vulnerable young girls, handpicked by Oprah herself, were victimized by the very person entrusted with their care. It was a stain on Oprah's reputation and a disturbing reflection of the Academy's inner workings. Desperate to salvage her image and protect the brand she had built, Oprah swooped in with a team of investigators to uncover the truth. 6 brave girls came forward, mustering the courage to share their traumatic experience. Despite this, Virginia was astonishingly exonerated of all charges, prompting the public to question the legal system's fairness and efficacy. The scandal reached new heights, calling into question not only Oprah's venture trustworthiness, but also the integrity of the whole South African school system. Within the walls of Oprah's Academy, another controversy erupted less than 2 years later, shedding light on a culture of violence and intimidation among the students. It was revealed that a 15-year-old girl had been pressuring victims into silence, coercing them not to report physical altercations to their parents or authorities. 7 kids were suspended for threatening behavior and inappropriate acts, and a letter was written to one parent detailing charges of personal physical contact harassment, bullying, and deception. Despite Oprah's efforts to rectify these concerns, it appeared that the flaws were deeply rooted throughout the Academy's basic foundation.
On the other hand, the controversy that ended up impacting her reputation the most didn't have anything illegal involved. When Oprah and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson each contributed $5 million to a relief fund for victims of the 2023 Maui wildfires, they encouraged the public to join in by making additional donations. However, the request drew criticism, as many felt a billionaire like Oprah could have funded the entire initiative herself.
It makes people question Oprah's authenticity. Having a surplus amount of money, so much that you probably won't spend it before you die, people have an expectancy for you to be a pillar and donate your money to people in need. So when Oprah and The Rock set up a fund for the Maui fires in Hawaii, they got immediate pushback for asking people to donate for the cause. They donated a combined $10 million to fund the families of the devastation. Each family received between $1,200 to $3,000 in multiple rounds, but people felt like she should have donated more because she is a billionaire. A lot of people in society are going through their own rough period because of the crazy economy we're in. Her asking people to donate felt selfish because she is one of the richest women in the world. And the fact that they own large properties in Hawaii doesn't help. Oprah has bought millions upon millions upon millions of acres of land in Maui, even having her own private road. So if she can buy all this land, then she could cut the check to help people. And since she has all this money, she should do something.
Some critics even argue that Oprah's platform has occasionally leaned into stereotypes or neglected the community's needs. For instance, she has been accused of favoring topics and guests who align with mainstream perspectives, sometimes at the expense of addressing issues central to Black audiences. This criticism was especially pronounced during a resurfaced clip where Oprah appeared dismissive of a caller's racial biases. Some critics believe her media choices prioritize universal appeal, occasionally sacrificing representation and alignment with the issues affecting her core audience.
Someone with the hair would sit next to me, the way he's dressed. No, you. I would grab my purse and probably move to another seat. It's because of his looks. It's scary.
That's because it's out of her culture.
Well, that's interesting. Clarify, madam, what you're saying. What does the word scary mean?
Oh, gee, I don't know.
Well, now would be a very good time to figure it out. What does the word scary mean? That is my question.
Well, you would frighten me.
I understand that.
General.
What does the word scary mean? Or, same question, why would I frighten you? I haven't been in a fight since I was in 8th grade.
Well, you're probably not normally dressed up in a suit. You just look like you're a tough guy.
If she went to Jamaica, she'd be frightened all the time.
Well, madam, let me then answer the question.
So what is it? Is it because of the way he's dressed, the color of his skin, or his hair? Is it his hair?
Yes, yes. And I'm sure he's not always dressed in a suit. You know, he helps.
So does that mean you're frightened of all men who are not dressed in suits?
No, no.
Okay.
It's just the garb, I think, that would scare me.
Well, you know, this is interesting, madam. Let me then advance this point. I speak of the old racism, which was Dr. Martin Luther King. I didn't speak of the new racism. One of the things you have to understand about racists or about yourself is racists are inherently intellectual cowards. They won't come out and say, I hate because I hate. Story over. What they will do is take pseudo-facts. They will take facts that are not true and use that as the intellectual pyramid to come to a conclusion that is inaccurate. If you actually want to talk about the statistics, if you are afraid of me on that bus, I don't ride on buses, because you think I'm going to murder you, there is no statistical basis for that. You are more likely to be murdered by your husband, by your son, by your brother. If you are afraid of me sitting next to you on that bus that I don't ride on, because you are afraid that I'm going to rape you, statistically, your boyfriend, your husband, is more probably going to be the rapist. So I'm saying you are the manifestation of the new racism, and you have used the same pseudo-intellectual statistics to construct.
Oprah Winfrey's influence on American culture, media, and philanthropy is undeniable. Her ability to connect with audiences, foster trust, and spark cultural movements has cemented her as one of the most impactful figures of our time. However, her legacy is also one of complexity, where her drive for success clashes with the ideals she swears she follows. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. That's it for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the stories that shape entertainment. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.